Oh my goodness, I'm live and I'm no tapestry, just gonna do my fairy lights and turn on the other ones up ahead, but I guess that'll be okay for now. I've got this there, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to see what the volume is, so hang on. It's 96, so let's just go to one. I think I've got the door shut enough. We shouldn't be too interrupted. I have one cat in, one cat out. Just have to wait. So, hello, this is Syrian Star Oracle. Some people call me Coyote, and of course, I have a space name, which I haven't shared very much, but that is, oh gosh, I want to say Azera. Wasn't thinking of sharing that, but there we go. So, tonight I have just basically a tea chat. I'm going to try the tea. I think it might be cold. No, it's still hot. So, it's warmish. It could be a little bit warmer. This is in a cup that says smile. A smile is the prettiest thing you can wear. And I wonder if Coco Chanel said that. It's not, the cup doesn't give credit to who said that. In the center, down where the T is the word smile. I'm going to take another sip. It's really good. It's good. It could be a little bit hotter, but I didn't just pour it. I was poured about 20 minutes ago, and I was typing the description. So tonight is tea wisdom and oracle insights, and basically it's just going to be some general to specific chat about mantras and intention using your energy and the discussion of accoutrements. Again, I know a long time I talked about tools, and I'm going to be bringing that up because tools slash rituals slash meditation, and these are all things to keep around you and absolutely use them. They are powerful. They're also powerful because they're you, and that's what you may choose to use. And this helps you with your energetic power. Now, this being said, in the description, over the last few days, I saw something by a young woman. I can't think of her name. Well, her first name I think is Annie, and she's the Green Witch. And I've known of her for a while. Mm. She had an issue in her home, and she called in what do you call it, like an associate, a sort of a, not an associate when you have a, let me think for a second. Your, when the people, you would call the people you work with, it's on the tip of my tongue. Give me one second. Your colleagues. So she called in a colleague who she felt had a lot more experience than her for an issue she was having. And I've liked following this particular woman a little bit. I don't like everything as we're a different age, but it's not even that. As a young person, I didn't go out and get drunk. Um, she does pole dancing, and she's actually a very good choreographer, but the only one dance I saw was extremely metal banging and angry. I how I had seen her present herself prior, she's really quite lovely, and she still is. And she absolutely is, organized and just content detailed. Um, the other part of her that was very, very sassy, nothing wrong with that. But for me, I just felt her style for that particular presentation was really very angry. But she brought up a lot about, I wanted to look at something about vanishing and protection and what to do because she actually went and banished something that was very dark for this friend and colleague, Annie. Now, that all seemed to work as so far in any of their reporting forward because they both have very prosperous YouTube channels and maybe even Patreon channels. It's really good. I want to actually stop drinking that and at some point go make something new. I have another tea that I'm working on, which was like my Mountain Mama tea that I've mentioned before about honey, cayenne, garlic, ginger, and oh god, lemon. How could I forget lemon and water? And that tastes really good, and it's really good for cutting through mucus, for really for your throat in every way, and it's just basic ingredients and so good. But anyway, I wanted to showcase that cup, and so the tea wisdom tonight is, I get some certain things from my mentor, and sometimes they're morphed a little bit that become me, and sometimes not. But there are some things like that are going to be uniquely my own. Like I didn't ask my mentor how to, stick with and completely call in my team of spirits, angelics, um, elementals. I just do it my own way, as she does it her own way, and she'll share what she does. And if some parts of that resonate, then I will use it, just as what I'm giving you, use or don't use. Still, there is, I think will come up at some point, there is that great, getting rid of galactic parasites. Really try it. I haven't done that for a couple of days. I will do that on myself. There was another thing that my mentor shared with the group that she has on Telegram, and I'm probably going to do that meditation as well and pass it on to you. But so here I wanted to bring up Olivia's points, and even some wonderful books that she brought up, and the idea of intention is great, but not everything. So I wanted to visit that topic with you before I pull the cards on it. So here's the thing. If you don't have the intention anyway, you've got to have intention, which I believe she's really, yes, have the intention. But in witchcraft, they partner with tools such as herbs and candles and saying things and writing things. Well, as a galactic, as an intuit, as a psychic, as a spiritual helper, we do too. We don't call it witchcraft. But if I give you a meditation or direct you to someone with a hypnosis or direct you to affirmation, these tools are very empowering. And in your intent, excuse me, they do bring forth, accentuate, complement that which you are wanting to bring in. And it's a very fine line in some ways, don't you think? When someone is, in a sense, very spiritual and perhaps an occultist, an alchemist. So perhaps I would consider myself more an alchemist, although witchcraft, that's alchemy too, right? Bringing things together. Like if I had added cinnamon to my tea, cinnamon is a prosperity herb. So, you know, sprinkle the cinnamon, drink it, and have an intention, and maybe call out even very authentically, but off the cuff, something about, everything wonderful is happening to me now, money flows to me easily, or whatever will feel really good, and you feel it. And even, for example, in witchcraft, Miss Olivia said, you have to feel as if your work has worked. You have to feel as you've done this ritual around, money. You've done this ritual around this intention of job. You've done this ritual around intention of love. You have to feel that your desire, your command was heard into the void, which is not null, and hears everything and returns to you that which you are expecting, either by default because you're so worried, or on purpose because you have directly said, I'm not kidding around. I really want this. And you bring it in the best way. But here it is. And I will say as much about it as I can. But you bring it in the best way, universe, invisible helpers. I'm going to take into the sip. So my thoughts about this is, not so much you have to become a witch lifestyle. I mean, the witches, I think when I notice witches, a lot of them sport a pentagram. A lot of them may dress often a certain way with some crystals and rings, and um, or maybe in black. Um, I also want to offer. I have like some dry skin or something. I also want to offer that with some of this umbrella of witchcraft, it's very likely that some of it may be somewhat old in a worn out way that doesn't serve all of those who are in witchcraft for the better and the harmonics of life. But what I will say that I have liked about this person, Olivia, in terms of her presentation, is that she really encourages you to discover what works for you and to read and to explore and to even look at stuff that you wouldn't necessarily find that you want to pursue in witchcraft, or even some information that looks to attack that which you so love. Um, Not so much because you have to agree with it or know everything about it, but to have an idea. And I think she's got a point there. It's much like me with politics and spirituality. There's a lot I know and some I don't know, because I also go by the by vibration of things. But to to know what is on TV and evolving, and then on the citizen journalist and the more um, transparent reporters side, which is out there on YouTube or Epic Times or the High Wire or BitChute or Rumble, and some regular YouTube and Facebook people, you see a whole lot. Now, in the end of the day, you can choose to side with X no matter what, and at the end of the day, you can also stay with A no matter what. So, I wanted to talk about a little bit about this Wiccan idea. For some of you, Wiccan, I feel like in the past few years, or witchcraft has taken off. And I think what happens is it might be even a bridge to those who really don't know about science, galactics, reptilians, greys, who maybe haven't had an experience of seeing demons, seeing galactics, seeing energy images, and that their word, like in my own experience, my word has conjured and come back. And I gotta tell you, I don't think I always had intentionally or on purpose any herbs in my hand or any incense necessarily in my hand. It's all been energy, frequency, vibration, and that intent. And I really, from my end and how I'm being and becoming, it really is harnessing the power of the universe. And damn it, it works. Now, that being said, I've also at times in the past encouraged making a vision board, which is collecting pictures that are of a desire which you want to bring in. And you have it in a place where you will see it and you will give it your energy of belief, knowing, acceptance, allowing it is. And that when you go by these pictures, it brings you joy and happiness to feel those things in your field, so that you can, on purpose, all of a sudden open your door and it's there. All of a sudden get your job, it's there. All of a sudden get your bank account, the money is there. All of a sudden just show up and it shows up meeting you. And you don't need to wait for a Wednesday or a full moon or stars aligned a certain way, or if you don't have something in your pantry to burn in dedication to that which you want to bring in. So I would say, in all honesty, witchcraft, spirituality generally, and the intention of harnessing the cosmos, what they all use, number one, is our own intention and energy. And number two, by that which we so desire, if we choose to use a tool, whatever that may be, that is what also adds to the impetus, to the empowerment. I think that witchcraft is appealing because of some movies, because of some of the women, in characters portrayed, because of perhaps, like I started to say, those that really maybe don't understand energy, frequency, vibration, those that are immediately shying away from their religious upbringing, um, folks that have that mysticism of dressing cool in a cool, kind of aesthetic way. I mean, there's many different aspects, or as many different people that are attracted to that. But also, there's so many others who into spaceships, into energy, frequency, vibration, into elementals. And, even for me, it's not just having like galactics on my team or speaking to galactics and calling in the Syrian, Palladian, Arcturian, Lyran, and Andromedians. That's who I call in currently as mentors, teachers, my kin, allies. I also call in several iconic non-physical, which is Yeshua, Maitreya, Buddha, Lord Saint Germain, and I call them Goddess Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, and Lakshmi. There's also energies: the violet flame, the violet Tara, rose gold flame, violet flame, the plasma light or liquid plasma light. Sometimes there's the red dragon, white dragon, gold dragon. There's my high fae, the high royal fairies, and the sylph, which are very high up elementals with wings and look like angels. Oh gosh, then there's the angelic realm. There are a gazillion of archangels. The angels I call upon are Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Ariel, Ezekiel, Jovial, Raphael, Haniel, Sandalphon. I think I'm saying his name correctly or her name. I call him Melchizedek, Zanzibar, Metatron, and then there are a few others, but these are and then it will say, and those I know and don't know, of nobility, high care, protection, and the mindset of the infinite one, or something close to that, because I'm attracting, all the gracious ones, the gracious love, powerful ones, not those who were created and or evolved out of a dark-minded intention of dominion and in harmony. So that's pretty much what I will call in and do. And I see when I call in, sometimes in their names, I see them. I don't really dwell on it, but I have this sense of seeing, envisioning angels or a particular ascended master. And when I do my little morning mantras of protecting my body and calling these energies in, the quantum energy in, I just have a slight sense of envisioning different things I say, and I can kind of see that, and I let myself feel it. So that was my intention, but I'm not always necessarily burning incense. And while I may have a crystal on, I don't set all the crystals out necessarily. It really is going to change as I change, and in having a freed up more space, um, then I will change some of my practice to match more what I've either written previously or because I've evolved and do things a certain way. So usually in having my car, I will go burn incense in my car every morning. When I can, I burn incense here. In the home I am, incense is no more allowed because it bothers the dad that I live with. So I've got it close to me. I've got my crystals close to me, and I would say about every other day, sometimes every day at some point. But I'm looking at the crystals and I'm appreciating them. Sometimes I tell them I love them and they're so cute because they are grandfathers. They are really potent, ancient friends, and they are alive. They are alive, and they are wisdom keepers. So I have them around me, and because they mean something to me, then I am so empowered, and I am empowering them to be filled with life in a particular energy because I recognize their presence. And so with witchcraft, and there was a opening I heard of in one of the books that Miss Olivia reviewed, whether it was the psychic witch or the elementals of spell casting. And some of the authors, I actually like what they wrote. I actually, if that interests you, I encourage you to get it's called The Psychic Witch, and it comes in either new Kindle Well, if you want to get it in the paperback, I'd encourage that. It's around probably $15. And then there's the elements of spell casting. But when I started here, excuse me, either gentleman through a there's an audio in Amazon, so you can hear some of it, and they don't read a whole chapter, but they read a few pages. It sounds like, excuse me. And in that, I think they're written very well. There is a very good description of how they look at, the witchcraft and what that umbrella embodies. And there's just the encouragement that, some are called to do that. So there was a time, so I'm just going to segue a little bit. There was a time in my life I would go to this bookstore in a town where I lived, or travel to this bookstore because I lived in the town next to it or something. And I would look for a series called Llewellyn, which begins with L's. It's spelled really different than I guess I would have thought. But anyway, it's called Llewellyn, and it's earth magic. And there are a lot of little wonderful things that they write. And it's kind of 101 introductions, but it's gentle, uplifting, positive. It's meant to empower, steer you in the direction of love and goodness and grace. And these are the books too that I'm recommending that Olivia talked about as well, because they are written from a point of support and embracing. They're not written from a dark side. They're not written from the point of you're going to learn these spells. You're going to learn then how to make up your own spells. You're going to learn how to apply these herbs, and so you can go out and cause havoc on every invisible and physical level. I bring up also this subject because I have a friend going through some dark stuff, and I don't know all of it. And I know a long time ago she mentioned some things. She lives in a place, not completely in the South, somewhat Midwest. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I apologize. Oh. And in that Bible Belt area, as well, you don't need to believe it, be in the Bible Belt. But in that Bible Belt area, there's a lot of contradiction. There's been a lot of satanic ritual. There has been a lot of witchcraft. Now, by appearances, people would say this is the Bible Belt. So where's the witchcraft? Where's the satanic witches? Where's the whatever? But like anything, even on the East Coast or the West Coast or wherever in the world, there are those that have to hide out. Because it's one thing to be a witch, another to be a Satanist. It's one thing to be a priest, and then be a priest who's a pedophile. And you're not going to let that out to your congregation. You're just using your title and position to self-empower the desire, the addiction, the actions that are going to bring you closer to that which you want to take advantage of. So anyway, they're having an issue where I guess it's magnified within the family unit via someone who's involved in the dark side. And so not to poo-pah this. This is very serious. I have had experience of dark entities and being touched or seeing them or whatever a long time ago. And I was helped by someone very spiritual and very powerful, who's not in physical form, as human, and what he could channel. He's no longer on the planet, but he was very instrumental to help. Also, it's just been me. As I think I shared, I had to get rid of a Bible because the Bible itself became a tool that was inviting havoc. And I'm wondering with my friend if she even notices if they have something in the home that is allowing, through spell casting and psychological manipulation, this particular evil to ensue. Now, I don't know all the details, but I know today there was a point that I was sending energy to get rid of this stuff and whatever this is. and to create a bubble for them. But if I am going to help them, I want to know some things more specifically, because while I, in a way, don't have to know things, everything specifically, um, I contradicted myself there, but I will do some practice that basically when I send out this energy, number one, I'm going to use protect, can't protect, it can't harm me. Number one, that's number one, because I'm going to do this stuff. And then number two, it will need to and not able to ever go within any of their vicinity. It's null and void. It goes back to the shadow. It's done. It's done. Now I sent some of that out there. I can't say if she felt the difference at this time. I also thought of put together like a little saying about the situation, and I was sending energy to that. Now it was just very brief. I was just kind of trying it on for myself, not to be frivolous, but to kind of get going and really give this some of my heart's attention, because this is a friend who needs some assistance. And I just would have to ask more questions in this particular case. In this particular case, they are, sounds like they are followed by energy that is made from man and evil person's intent. The energy has been so shaped where it has been off and on the planet, so it exists to harm with either disease or fear of scare or whatever. And it is energy manifests. So the power of this person, I'm either thinking they have some help and or they've infiltrated in such a way as they have bits of this other person. And it's hard to explain because of the psychological um, mindset and manipulations. Think about this past 2 years in COVID and what was said and people that jumped on the bandwagon of fear. Well, some of that was already in them prior because they fear viruses, they fear colds, they fear evil, they don't want to be fired. They have a fear thing rather than being empowered through, well, this is what I remember about science. Well, I also have my body. Well, this other stuff makes sense, but so why am I actually doing what you want me to do to be nice? Or I'm afraid, so I guess I have to do this to keep my job. But it was still fear, and they didn't look at other strong and rightfully in place um, probabilities which would have supported them. It's just a little bit of a showing the showcase of, again, I can't speak to it. I do know what it's like to live in a place that's been infiltrated by something dark. I do know what it's like to keep the Bible with me when all of a sudden now it's not working, because through the Bible is where the other evil is coming through, and it feels a little unsettling. But this house here was never really haunted and taken over. Just one place a long time ago I used to live was getting there, and I had a really hard time sleeping. And there were times, I was touched, or I could see, or I felt like eyes were looking at me, and I really need some help. And there was somebody that helped me clear it. And when it finally left, I actually saw at least one or a main trickster energy, and it would look like a Tasmanian devil. And as it kind of mild in its presence, and then the fuses blew in most of the apartment. So I needed help to understand where the fuses were. And but then I never had another problem with that. And I was encouraged to burn incense, um, around the house of this apartment building. It was just two apartments for a while. So I want to say that while I absolutely the style in which you practice witchcraft in terms of using herbs and I'm going to call them petitions, like things that are folded and put into a special place, like a dish, a bowl, and on an altar. These are all what other spiritual people do. I have my bureau with tons of crystals on it, and I need to get more. I just love them. I have crystals here, right here, on me, on another table. I'll probably be getting an ankh pretty soon, and because I love that symbol as well, which is eternal life, resurrection of the dead. I I think that I'm really more of an earth science girl, and it doesn't mean that I would not embrace some practice of either Wiccan witchcraft or witchcraft in the boldest of kindest ways. But I'm sort of already doing that with having certain of these mantras, which also come from Lord Saint Germain, the Summit Lighthouse. I find that very highly spiritual of value. Um, so I'm going to say that intent is the first thing one really needs. Intent, that desire to allow and bring in, to allow and create. And then your intention is your own energy of strength in your pillar, in your solidarity. And then I invite invisible helpers with, and it sounds like in witchcraft, they a lot of them, they like the spirits around them. I like the angels around me, the elementals, galactics. I'm not into lower vibration. Let's say Uncle Bob died, and he was cool. He was a funny, but he was an alcoholic. I'm not into keeping invisible people around who just want to make noise and be noticed and kind of wreak havoc. I had some of that. I lived with some of that, and it was hard for me to go home too. And at one point, I also felt like a hoof on my left leg. Yeah, so I've had all that stuff happen to me, and now I'm just really like I'm standing in the light of the omnipresence of the infinite mind, the one and only, the Alpha Omega, on that plasma liquid light, that plasma white light, so transparent and dense and solid and protection, is permeating and penetrating all of me and my multidimensional fields. And I'll call in the Christed flame, and I'll call in that rose gold flame, or and other, to be fully within, through, around my bodies, and to protect me and keep me square in that knowledge that I am safe, protected, and I am the power. And nothing that is evil or unlike love gets to get in, period. And I'm so bright like that, that of course there's the evil shit still floating around the planet, because we're getting rid of a lot of human looking people who've been, the famous word, right, is nefarious, diabolical, unfathomably grotesque. And they have set forth this particular energy to really thrive through our fears on the planet and create all kinds of division, so that mankind can say, look, see my wounds, look, see what you did. The mainstream media forever, it's like they're shooting here, they're shooting here, they're shooting here, they're shooting here, they're shooting, killing, 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 killing. I'm going to tell you something. These things have happened before. They just never talked about it so much. And it's interesting. What happened over there happens over there, but they don't report it. They're reporting it, number one, to keep you divided, in fear, pointing fingers, to keep you disturbed, and to not focus on what's really going on and what they're saying. And let me just say that they are introducing sometimes little bits of kindness. Overall, I may have segued just a slightly bit to make an example. There's a part of me, in my spiritual way, I want to slap every one of them, and none of them deserve to be reporters on TV where they get to influence and or say anything to you. Some of them may have, yes, been puppeteers by the good to say all this crap, good or not so good. But I still want them out, because they have misled you. They've misled you. They have lied to you. They have worked with your indoctrinated program to keep you afraid. I'm not into it. Be interesting to see who comes back around and who actually passes, or who is their clone there. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are clones, period. And they look exactly or very, very, very like the host, whose DNA, part of them, was erected and came from epidemiology. Epidemiology. Take a cell, add add that blood cell or add that bone cell or add that to whatever, and it will multiply and grow. Epidemiology. And look it up. It's how they make clones. It's how they're doing there's now it's coming out more. It's not like it's really brand new, but it'll be brand new to us, right? Instead of actually raising a lot of cows to kill, raising a lot of sheep to kill, they're going to take a blood sample and they're going to make meat in a laboratory, which will be 100% as if it was the meat of the real living animal, so that now you can eat it. Think of Star Trek episodes, right? They press a button, food comes on a tray, and it's a pill. And it could be a steak, it could be potatoes, it could be lemonade, salad. It's a little pill because that's epidemiology and cell biology, like from stem cell research. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so tools. So I think, let me just visit something else. Once you have a little bit of your intention and desire for whatever it is you want to bring in, then it's up to you. You pick the mantras or affirmations. And when you there, let these things feel good to you to repeat. Let these things fill you up with the knowing that you have asked, you are conjuring in, you are commanding in. I don't know if I'm a full-fledged witch because I'm conjuring and commanding that which brings me joy to empower others, myself, and the world. I probably could easily go into being a witch. But I think of myself as a galactic. I think of myself as an elemental. I think of myself as so much. And I'm looking forward to knowing even more about my own true, remembering about my own true heritage and the stars where I've come from. I do find the idea of witchcraft appealing because of its earthiness. That's how I see it. Working with herbs, working with scents, working with the invisible in the holiest, brightest of ways. And I think that when you receive a gift, if you receive a crystal and it calls to you, this is a tool of creation and manifestation, a tool of empowerment, of alchemy. It is alive. It will talk. So you could do automatic writing, you could do pendulum on it, and you could just sit still. I just love holding it and appreciating my crystals right now. I don't have names for all of them. Um, this this one I don't. I don't remember if it's I don't think it's Maya Zestalite. I think this is just a truly quartz crystal. And it's so funny because I feel like there's it almost looks like there's a piece of dark ore in here, like a black kyanite. Sometimes it looks like a tree though. If you really start to collect crystals, a lot of them that are clear, you can see shapes and visions and um, people, animals, worlds within the crystal. That's really pretty. I don't know if you can see. Like there's a story inside, and it will change. And sometimes watch your crystals. It'll feel like something changes, moves around. My piece of black tourmaline, just a small baby piece. Love them. So whether you choose to use tools that seem to embody witchcraft, whether you used to use spiritual tools of the invisible that call in the cosmos, whether you use spiritual tools that work with the elementals and the fairy, everything is intention. your desire. And the energy, the emotions with that intention, that to me, so I am a little bit in contradiction where, and of what was offered, that intention first and foremost is, because that is your energy. And when you are the power and you are the energy and you are the spark of relation, you don't need these other things. Do they assist you? It would be like a wizard having a wand. It would be like when we've seen witches having a wand, Harry Potter stuff. It would be part of your ritual, just like, and forgive me, like say the Catholic Church, burning frankincense, burning myrrh, purification, cleansing, banishment. And witchcraft does that, and spiritual people do that, encompassing all the many things that they might be interested in: galactic, um, alchemy through iconic masters, through the quantum cosmic field, drawing in that energy. So I would say it is intention, period. I know the books I suggested are going to say, and the accoutrements of herbs and writing and speaking and so forth. Okay, but that is not dissimilar then to me showing you my crystals, nor repeating affirmation or mantra prayer, which are is, well, I've been calling it spell casting for a while. It is the word. In the beginning there was the word, and the word went out and created. The word was God, and went out and created everything. So our words are very important. So if you have your intention of your thought and your heart, your emotion, and you use words, mantra prayer, affirmation, spell casting, you are creating in that which you desire to come in. So in a sense, it will seem like a contradiction, but it is intention first and foremost, which is your energy, which is your focus and thought, and then all those other accoutrements, they can be partnered with it. But for me, it will always be the intention first. Because sometimes I've been somewhere and I don't have my crystals on. I'll go, oh, have my crystals really protect me. Then I have to say, am I powerful or am I not powerful? You are powerful. You are powered by the stars. You've got crystal in your body. There's crystal in the earth. There is more association and connections to our power than ever. And I want to so I'm going to say it is up to you, that with their intention, and then you use these other tools. But remember, it's always going to be intention and your desire, because you are the power. You have the key inside. It's so think of the movie for this works for me. Think of the movie like the X-Men. You get your power, you come out and zap. Just like when, I don't know, when they had the Samantha the Bewitched on television. She knew her incantations, but she didn't always have, smoke and the pendulums going. So to me, it is your intention in you being so in alignment with your energy for that you call it in. And all the other stuff, it's very, very helpful. The crystals are very helpful. The incense is very helpful. The words, of course, are always helpful because that's part of your intention. The images that give you that support to remind you or to launch you, keep it, show it, do it. I think I'm going to explore some of these witchcraft books, but I know up there is a team waiting for me. Because even though I look like this and I'm having a human experience, I'm a commander of a fleet. And they're doing their job, and they're letting me know they're doing their job. And I'm just doing my best to have this human experience and not sidestep all my power and not acquiesce to stupidity of others. And also, to really embrace all that I'm going through to be this leader and bridge these worlds. I am an emissary of the Galactic Federation of Nations, and I'm enjoying bringing forth all this different information and discovering and rediscovering who I am and the truth of the planet. So, that being said, about the mantras, I pulled a card, and I didn't know it till prior of I wrote whatever I wrote. I pulled a card, and it had to do with intention and tools and our energy and our power, in terms of, and I was thinking somewhere in the back of my mind, intention versus this like just witchcraft, and you need all this stuff. And the card I ended up pulling was Become the Master You Seek. I'm going to read what the author wrote, because this is my newest deck. But and I'll show you the image about this. But when I was thinking about sharing this information with you, and was I feeling like, oh, I need to like be more witchy? Am I more witchy and I don't realize it? What is this thing that the witches of these really very articulate writers of these couple of books are saying? Well, this is why you need all this stuff, because it's not just intention alone. It's intention first, because it's your energy. It's your energy. So if you are a powerful witch, what you say and in your presence, you got it, baby. Just like I call in the cosmic force, I got it, baby, and I'm sending it to you. I don't need, what time of day is it? Was it noontime? I gotta do it at noontime. I gotta twirl around 3 times. I need that particular crystal, absolutely. I need that particular sunshine, absolutely. No, it's just steps. It's just an expression that, if you find so helpful, then it is, because that what's alignment and with you and resonates with you. It's not because it's the only way. So this speaks to, no, you become the master you seek. You allow you your evolution. You allow you your power. You allow you that has cosmic energy to be in alignment with. And even if you are a witch, you're allowing cosmic energy to run through you, to you, through your words, through the intention of your words and attitude and energy. So, oh, did I show you the picture? Okay. Blue expression of the voice. And it looks like, isn't it interesting? It looks like mountainous peaks, almost like crystals. I wonder if that's supposed to be Mount Shasta. Let's just see. 32. I don't know if it's the same. Okay. Become the master you seek. The master in Tibet. You are a divine being. Internalize this knowledge and allow it to inspire self-confidence and inner strength, which is what I was just talking about. When you are you, and you intend, and you're spell casting, you're saying prayers, mantra, you are putting your desire out, and you mean it, you accept it, you know it. You're calling in the powers for that. Don't need, the incense is just a nice accoutrement. I'm missing my incense floating around for you. The crystals, you may not have them. You may not be able to bring all your crystals on the trip with you, but you feel them and their presence is with you. You envision you have them close to you, or maybe you don't have a lick. Maybe you're going to go outside tomorrow and you can look for a stone, which I call a grandfather, and that is going to be your helper. They've been around for a long time. Rock, part of the planet. What you search for may not be what you find. Realizing that the power of the universe is within you is the fulfillment of the quest. The power is at your command to use, to create and build and find solutions to the most difficult challenges you encounter. Looking outside of oneself and expecting someone or something to do all the work for you is going against the cosmic law. We must all use gifts we have been given and actively engage in developing them for other assistance to appear. So, the intention then, if you choose to do like a witchcraft, is to help you in your mastery. But you've got to be, so to say, you're engaging in developing them, which is really developing your self-confidence in what you are attracted to. Developing a pure, true self-confidence, not one built on a diva, being cool to be a witch, or being cool to be galactic, or being cool to be like, oh, I'm Christian and I channel, blah, 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 whatever. No, you become that divine, sacred light of goodness, nobility, virtue, steadfast frequency of love, and nothing touches you. There's a lava lava, and there's the bot Satan energy. Like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, that bot Satan energy. Like, no, I know who I am. You cannot pass, because I know who I am. Beacon of pure frequency of love. And you can vision your colors or whatever feels empowering to you. And in your choice, yes, call in that, and again, not calling in Bob or Frank, who was a relative and kind of smart ass and kind of wise and they knew stuff, but they were drunk or they were just whatever. Why do you want to call in lower energies when you are from the most powerful infinite frequency and you have that power to create, control, and manifest wonder, miracles every day? You are a miracle. I mean, for most of us at some point, what have you been eating? For how long did you eat it? Not knowing it had crap in it. Our bodies are amazing. But if we partner with ourselves in their amazement, we live longer, we rejuvenate, we go backward in time, we develop our skills and our abilities in such a profound, pure way in strength that nothing unlike love, nothing can permeate that which is so intent on the harmony of the universe. So maybe this helped a little bit, talking about tools from the broad perspective of witchcraft, other topics of other avenues of some spirituality, and just some tools in general. I know it was like more like a 101, but perhaps it was helpful to think and ponder some uses or some other paths, and to know that nothing can penetrate the single focus of one who harnesses the quantum, was solely intent on goodness. And while may recognize that there has been inherent evil, it cannot touch you. It cannot touch you. And that all players, both the brightest, the dullest, most evil things, people, and that invisible stuff we might not even want to imagine, all comes from the experience of source energy, the infinite mind, the God force. Because the God force wanted to learn about itself and set forth its creations to choose, to be free, to explore and decide. It's just that things got out of hand. I've mentioned this before. Light and dark, there always will be. Be the change you wish to see, and you become the master you seek. Use your intentions strongly and wisely for fun and abundance, for greatness and all the wonderful things you would like to bring in. Do not acquiesce. Do not comply out of fear. Notice and embrace fear as your friend, because you are the power and you got this. My little coyote heart just loves you. You are the spark of creation. You have a great night, and I'll see you again on Syrian Star Oracle. Bye-bye.